COVID deaths in America approached the grim milestone of 100,000, the New York Times paid tribute to folks on their cover this Memorial Day weekend. It's a weekend to honor the sacrifices made for freedom, but there didn't seem to be much sacrificing happening in crowds that swarmed pools and lakes and beaches in Maryland, Arizona, the Ozarks, Texas. It looked like any other Memorial Day weekend. And is this going to put us in a bad place for July 4th? Or I don't know. What do you think, Megan?
Yeah, there were also pictures in Florida and Pensacola in California and Malibu and Hermosa Beach of just complete overcrowding. The clip that seemed to have gotten the most attention was this clip coming out of the Ozarks of people basically looking like they're in MTV's Spring Break. Yeah, we have footage right here. Look, I have been advocating on this show for over a month to reopen the economy. I've been advocating, given all the reasons, suicide rates are spiking, opioid overdoses. Obviously the economy is completely collapsing, and I think I'm just confused as to why I've been advocating for a slow roll open of the economy if we aren't going to have some kind of in-between between completely isolating, quarantining forever, and Girls Gone Wild. I'm very confused because for me, when you see that gripping New York Times cover with all the names of the people who have died, which, by the way, people who are close to me have lost family members from the COVID crisis, I think I'm just confused at the insensitivity. And if some of these states, like in the Ozarks, have decided that they are going to do herd immunity and haven't told the rest of the country, then I would like to know. I've vacationed in the Ozarks. It's a beautiful part of the country, but it really has made me very disheartened. I was very upset over the weekend over this because, again, I've been completely isolated and quarantined, and all I want to do by August is be able to buy a crib for my baby in a store and visit my father's grave. That's it. That's all I want to do before the fall. And to see people sort of like rubbing their nose at all the sacrifices of our first responders, and there's still so much unknown about this virus. Look, I've been very, very disheartened, and it's happening everywhere. It's a red state, blue state problem.
Yeah, Joy, why is it so tough for people to, follow the rules?
You know, when we live in a democracy, we sign what they call a social contract. I believe it was John Locke, whom I dated, by the way. No, kidding. But John Locke said that, that you have a social contract that you sign. So certain rules you have to follow. You can't drive if you're drunk. You have to wear a seatbelt. You're not allowed to smoke in public. Things like that. That you sign away your freedom in a way to be restricted in your car. So if you don't abide by this, you go to jail or you're fined. But the rules are being distorted by Trump and his enablers in the Congress in particular, the leaders in Congress who are enabling him. He's playing a political game with people's lives. And these people do not realize that they are pawns in his game. He only wants to be reelected. He doesn't really care if you live or die. I mean, witness the fact that he went golfing on Memorial when the names are being printed in the New York Times about how many people have died. He couldn't care less. He wants to turn people against each other so that he gets reelected. Let's take the example of the church. Does anybody really believe that he's so religious and cares so much about people going to church? No, he doesn't. He only wants to turn you against each other, religion against other religion. People have to come out, and Father, one of the priests I know is saying, you can really basically worship the Lord from anywhere. I believe in Islam, it is a fact that you could pray in your living room, in your bathroom, in your kitchen, anywhere you want. If you are in touch with God, you can pray wherever you are. No, he has to say, go and open the churches. Why does he fiddle with people's lives is what I want to know. And also one more point I want to make. School children, one small point. School children are now forced to wear bulletproof backpacks. Why is it that their freedoms are being impinged upon, but yours are not because you don't want to wear a mask? Why are you more important than those children? That's what I want to know.
Well, Sonny, you know, he's also demanding that churches reopen. Personally, I think it's a lot of hubris to demand of God that he opens his house, but maybe I'm crazy. But are you going to church anytime soon, given everything that's happening?
Well, you know, going to church on Sunday is one of my favorite things to do. I'm part of the church community, but I do not feel that houses of worship are essential. I believe that true worship is essential. You can practice your faith anywhere, as Joy said. I've been practicing my faith while in quarantine. I've been Zooming into church services. So, you know, true worship in my mind is protecting and investing in the most vulnerable around us. And doing that is staying at home. If you go out, you wear a mask. So no, you know, I don't need to go to a house of worship to be faithful. I am faithful in my home. I am faithful in my heart. I am faithful in the way that I want to protect the most vulnerable. I want to protect my mother. I want to protect people with autoimmune diseases. I want to protect people with asthma. I want to protect the common good. And that is what this is about. That is what COVID is about. It's protecting your brother, protecting your sister. And it seems to me that Trump is ignoring that by not wearing a mask, by forcing churches to open. There's a church in Georgia that opened and then closed because so many people were infected with COVID. That's the lesson to be learned about opening up churches too soon.
Can I say one more thing, just pivoting off of Sunny? She's 100% right, though, because it's not just about you. It's about, do you have people in your life that are immune compromised? Do you know anyone that is dealing with cancer? Do you know anyone that's over the age of 60? Do you know anyone that's pregnant? Because it's not just about you. You could be asymptomatic and spread it. And that, I don't think I understand why that is being lost on so many Americans. It's not just about you. It's about public health at large.
Well, and before we go, I just wanted to point out that, you know, when you go into a store and they say no shirt, no shoes, no service, the same applies when they say no shirt, no shoes, no mask. And people are screaming and spitting on people and coughing on people. But you demanded that we open up. So people said, okay, we'll open up. These are the rules we can open up by. And now you're saying that those rules are not good enough for you because you think you're being impinged upon. You know, I got to tell you, Walmart is not owned by a federal company. None of these stores are owned by federal companies. Your rights are simply that when you come into my store, you abide by my rules and you don't spit on me because that's assault as far as I'm concerned. So think about that. You asked for this. You said open up. People did. And now you're mad because they want to be protected from people like yourself who don't want to wear the mask when that's all they're asking you to do in order to come and shop.